Ever stop to think how much those little impulse buys on your phone are adding up to, and how many subscription payments are sneaking out of your bank account every single month? Before I started using Rocket Money, let me tell you, I had no idea. But the first time I logged in, I saved $435. I couldn't believe it. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. I just love the dashboard. It shows everything in one place, even the subscriptions you forgot you signed up for. And if there's something you don't need, Rocket Money helps you cancel it. Plus, it alerts you if a bill increases or if something unusual pops up in your account. It's basically like having a personal assistant for your money. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/Kim today. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim.
Welcome to the Kim Komando Show podcast for the weekend of June 8th, 2024. Thank you for listening to the Kim Komando Show. Here's hour one.
I always like to kick things off with something fun. And how about that little iPhone? Would you believe that it's about to cross $2 trillion in sales? That's right. Reminds me of an article way back in 2007. It was written by David Platt. He was a tech writer at the time. He said that in 2007 that the iPhone would crash in flames for the following reasons. One is that it wasn't really easy to use, and it crammed too many functions into a single device, and that people would just detest the touchscreen interface because it didn't give you that tactile feedback. He also said the only question remaining is if, when the iPod phone fails, that's what he called the iPod phone, it will take the iPod with it. Ooh, ouch. Okay, do the math. $2 trillion in sales, let's say $1,000 a pop, will give or take you about 2 billion phones. So I started thinking of okay, do you remember McDonald's would say so many billion sold? I guess they stopped doing that years ago. And the Big Mac is McDonald's top selling burger. Care to guess how many they sell a year? How many Big Macs does McDonald's sell a year? Anybody? 550 million. Whoa, yeah. And I keep thinking they should sell a burger made with beef lips. You know why? Because then they could call it the McJagger. I crack myself up all the time. And on that happy note, welcome. I'm Kim Komando, America's beloved digital goddess, here with you once again. It's the biggest show. It's the best show. It's the most trusted source for all things digital. You can find us on over 420 top stations across the United States, and we're streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando. And you can also find the Kim Komando Show commercial-free over on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And a big hello and salute goes out to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio. Wow, over 375,000 U.S. service members in 175 countries and 200 ships at sea get the Kim Komando Show. All right, every single day, I visit at least 35 to 40 different websites to make sure that we are both up to date with what's going on in the tech world. And here are the top 5 things you need to know that are happening right now. And number 1 is very important. There's a good chance that on your phone, you're going to find NewsBreak. It is the most downloaded news app in America. And if you have it on your phone, you're in trouble. The app has over 50 million downloads, outpacing Fox, New York Times, CNN. But here's the problem. NewsBreak's AI algorithms actually make up news. That's right. A Reuters investigation found that NewsBreak has been using AI to churn out and publish fake news stories. And it's been happening a lot since 2021, about at least 40 times. Now, the most notorious is a Christmas Day shooting in the small town of Bridgerton, New Jersey. Police said no shooting took place, and it took 4 days to take the story down. Okay, there's more. While NewsBreak proudly says its offices are in San Francisco, its true home is in China. One of its main investors is IDG Capital, a Beijing-based company that the Pentagon says is affiliated with the Chinese military. Wow. Yeah, I know. Like TikTok, if you want to use NewsBreak, you want to put it on a different phone. If you had it, delete the app entirely. And if you're worried about the Chinese military having access to everything that's on your phone, unfortunately, it's not fun times at the OK Corral. You have to do a full factory reset. Moving on to number 2, it's not just the Chinese, it's also the Russians. A deepfake video featuring a U.S. State Department official is making the rounds, and in it, he supposedly says that a Russian city is a target for Ukrainian strikes using U.S. weapons. Not true, all propaganda. Another video from a Russian operation, which Microsoft has called Storm 1679, used AI to fake actor Tom Cruise's voice. Yes, this phony Netflix documentary slanders the International Olympic Committee, and it just goes on and on. So what Russia is doing is narratives online to just rile you up, using fake social media accounts to promote fake stories about the war in Gaza, immigration, and the Olympics. So just be aware of what's going on. Moving on to number 3, what's going on with Google? A few weeks ago, you may remember I told you here on the show that Google had its whole AI and was talking about putting glue on pizza, drinking urine to cure kidney stones, spelling Africa with a K, and they thought that pythons were mammals. I mean, it's just a whole big mess. So Google says, oh, we have a great idea. We're going to give you AI overview the next time you do a search. So instead of giving you a list of websites, we're just going to answer your question right there. You may have noticed that that's gone too. Yeah, they've been having trouble. Google's head of search wouldn't want her job. Liz Reed came clean. She said the company was pulling back on some of the AI answers. Gosh, wonder how she's sleeping. Number 4, how do kids survive without the internet? Kate Buckley. She's a teenager who made a pledge to stay off social media when she went to high school. And she told the AP News it was great at first. Her grades were wonderful. Her communication skills improved. She started hanging out with her family. Then reality set in. And it was a nightmare, she says, to do her Bible study groups because everyone communicated on Instagram. No social media meant that she was missing out. She lost out on a student council because she didn't know it was scheduled on Snapchat. Which brings me to the next story. Finally, this coming in at number 5. 9 months ago, Elon Musk's Starlink satellite internet access was brought to the Marubo tribe in the Amazon. They never, ever used the internet before. Some 2,000 people suddenly thrust into the digital age without any experience. One member told the New York Times, when it arrived, everybody was happy. Okay? The internet helped save lives. They looked things up like snake bites. One teen now dreams of traveling the world. Another teen wants to become a dentist. But, big but, the tribe's younger men discovered social media and online porn. That's right. The Marubo frowned on even kissing in public, but now their younger folks have gotten lazy. They don't want to hunt. They don't want to garden. They don't want to work. They're very sexually aggressive. They don't talk to their families. They sit on their phone and they scroll for hours and hours. It's a big lesson in there for all of us, right? All right, coming up, we have some great tips about tracker alerts and TSA scams. And of course, we have your wonderful phone calls, and you have me, Kim Commando. Just one thing I want to pass along before we start with all of your phone calls. It's the last chance. Yes, your last chance to win a $799 iPhone. It's happening this weekend, folks. Okay, so if you haven't already entered to win, now's the time. Somebody has to get it. I can't win it. I have to give it away. So it might as well be to you. Winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. Winfromkim.com. Okay, what's the catch? You have to get at least one issue of my free newsletter, which has a 4.92 star rating out of 5 stars. Everybody loves it. You're going to love it. Again, you want to go to winfromkim.com. Winfromkim.com. Okay, how about we start with Kathy in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello there, Kathy. So start from the beginning. So tell me the story. Tell me what happened.
Honestly, I don't have all the facts, and I believe he's not telling you the truth at all. But he says that it started with TikTok.
Okay.
That a woman sent him a message, and she liked his profile and would like to get to know him better. And eventually she asked for money. I don't really know what the context was of that. He says there wasn't any porn involved, but I don't believe that for a second. At first it was like $15 or just whatever you can afford, and then she would ask for more, went up to $50. I mean, he sent $200, then he sent $400.
Wow.
In the first 2 months that I did not know anything was going on, he spent $3,600. He maxed out one credit card and got cash advances. Then I discovered a text come in, and He said, I don't know what that's all about. And I said, well, can you show me your phone to prove to me that that's not a conversation going on? And he said, no, I can't, because that is what's going on. And so I stayed calm.
Okay.
Tried to. And, asked some questions. He said, no, it's not porn. It's nothing like that. How long has this been going on? He told me 2 days. Because in reality, he'd only been talking to that one for 2 days.
Oh, there have been others.
Oh, many others. Hundreds and hundreds. TikTok, WhatsApp, Telegram, you name it. Google Chat, Snapchat, I believe probably on YouTube. Anywhere there's an app, I've found Imgur and Tumblr. I'm going to jump back in my story and just say that I did do some sleuthing on the internet and found comments on nudes from 8, 10 years ago. We've been married for 12 years.
Okay.
Anyways, so then now going forward, he says that he's not going to talk to them anymore. He's going to block them all. And he said that he did, in that first week of, let's call this month 3 of the affairs. And he claimed that he quit in that month. And I did everything I could, bent over backwards, to make him feel like he was getting the attention that he was so starved of. I gave him sex every other day. Just about. I sent him nudes because he would always ask me for nudes, and I felt like I felt not right about that. I didn't want to.
No, you're trying. You know what? You're trying to keep the spark alive, right? That's what you're trying to do.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And I'm trying to mend things. I'm trying to figure out what went wrong so that we can fix it. We're going to marriage counseling. He's lying to the marriage counselor. I found out later, because in the next 3 to 5 months, I'm not clear on this, he spent another $10,000, $12,000.
So what exactly is he doing? Is he paying for online sex, or are these women conning him, saying that they're going to invest the money?
He said it wasn't about sex, but I think he's lying a little bit because he wants to save what's left of the marriage. But what he said first was, I thought that I was helping them, and that the attention just felt so good. Because, it was like, I thought we were mending things, and you still continue to do this. I understand it might be hard to let go of some of these relationships, but I would expect within the month you would have been able to finish that. I know. But the attention just felt so good. And I cannot wrap my brain around this. I'm suicidal now because I'm giving him the attention, and I don't know what made him stop. He said it was something that you said. It could have been something from a newsletter. I don't know. But it stopped either in October or December, and I don't know when. I don't know if it really did stop, but he got fired in January, and I think that's when it stops, because they took his phone away. He's not had access to his social media since then.
That you know of?
That I know of. Okay. Now, he does have a generic phone. It has a 2 gig data limit. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't he doesn't have any of those apps on that phone.
Is he going to
Walmart to use Wi-Fi?
Is he going to the library at all?
He's going to Walmart to use Wi-Fi.
Okay.
That is to find a job.
Okay. So you are. Did you just say the word suicidal to me?
Yes, I did.
Okay. That's very frightening. Because you're a victim.
He's been tormenting me and so angry at me for 12 years. I've been afraid of him. But I don't feel like I can live without him. I love him. And I think there's a problem, too.
What more could you be doing that you're not doing now?
Tomorrow I have therapy, and he says that he agrees to get into addiction treatment.
Okay, because that's where I was going to go. I think there's some type of sexual addiction there.
Yes.
Online porn. And online porn addiction is a real thing. It is.
I know.
Okay. And when I was asking you what work you would do, I'm not saying that you're not doing everything that you're doing. I want you to realize that you are doing everything. You are.
I'm working hard.
Okay. And sometimes it's the hardest thing for us is to give up what we know is bad for us. Okay. This man is not good for you. He's not a man. He's not the person that 12 years ago that stood next to you and said, I do, and I will take care of you your whole life for better or for worse. You know, you can't keep a man because you give him sex every other day and I mean it's not you. It's not you. It is you because you are falling into this. But I want you to be strong. I want you to be stronger than this. I want you to realize your value. People around you who are depending on you, people who love you. That's why when I got your note today, I was like, I need to talk to this woman now. You sent me a note not too long ago. Because I care about you. I don't want anything to happen to you. I don't want you to be sucked into this dark hole where you're going. Okay, Kathy, thank you for sharing this with me. It means a lot to me that you trust me. Now, I'm going to be putting you on hold, and I'm very concerned about you. Now, your safety is the most important thing right now. Maddie, who you spoke with already and screened your call, she's going to pick up and chat with you during this quick mandatory break in the show. I wish I didn't have to have it. And I don't want you to be alone. Now, I'm going to come in, and after the break, I want us to really talk about next steps. Now, and if you're listening and some of this resonates with you, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That's 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-TALK. You can also text the word HOME to 741-741. Or again, you can always just call 911 and stay right where you are. We'll be right back. If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise, home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen. Their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HometitleLock.com/Kim. That's HometitleLock.com/Kim. Hey, if you're just tuning in, Kathy and I have been chatting about her husband, what's going on in her life. I'm here with you, Kathy. You're not alone. Your life has value. God put you on this earth for a reason. And it's not to feel miserable.
I think there's no hope for my marriage.
I don't know about your marriage. Doesn't sound like it's a healthy relationship. Doesn't sound like there may be a lot to save here. But that's for a marriage counselor, for a therapist to decide.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not my role. My role is to tell you that this stuff is real and it happens on the internet. And your husband is not the first. He's not going to be the last. That this is that a guy or a woman succumbs to this. And they get sucked in because some bimbo pretending to be a bimbo, or it could be a guy in Africa for all we know, with a picture.
They were all in Africa.
Makes them feel like a man. Makes him feel that he's suddenly is so attractive to all these people. For some reason, there's something wrong in his psyche that he needs that. A real man does not do that. A man that your parents wanted you to marry would not be this man, right? Am I right?
Yes, but that just kind of struck a note because with my family history, it seems that the whole saying about how you marry your father.
Okay, well then you got to break that cycle.
It's come true.
You got to break the cycle. You got to do it. You have to. You got to do it for yourself. Do you have kids?
I have a 30-year-old son that he doesn't live near me anymore.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that son, your son, loves you. Wouldn't want anything to happen to you because he needs you. And mamas and their boys, I can tell you, there's a special bond. Girls can come and go.
I didn't get to raise him. My mother convinced me to let her adopt him. I was 18 when I had him.
Well, and you know what? He still knows you, and he's old enough to understand that now.
Yes, he does. He does.
Okay, so he wasn't. Maybe he didn't understand it when he was 10. Maybe he didn't understand it when he was 16. But as a 30-year-old man, he understands the difference between giving birth at 18 and giving birth at 30.
Yeah.
Okay, and so, I want you to really take a deep breath. I want you to pray on this. I do. I want you to say a prayer. Ask God to help you. He will help you. I'm trying to help you.
Thank you.
But I don't like that you use the word suicidal. And I think we need to get you immediate help because I don't want you to hurt yourself. It's not. I don't want that to happen. I don't want your son to have this pain that he will have if you do that.
I could call my therapist's office and talk to somebody right now for a crisis. All
right, you need to do that because this is a crisis situation. Okay, and if you need to go in your car, go for a little ride because you need to go pick up milk or whatever because your husband's coming home. You need to do that.
Okay.
You promise?
Okay, I promise.
Okay. Is there anything I can help you with? And you have any questions about anything?
My question was originally, how can I find out what he's doing? How can I monitor what he's doing?
Let me tell you.
He's telling me the truth.
Okay, you already know what he's doing. You know what he's doing. You don't need me to tell you that. You know. You've told me what he's doing. If you need proof, what you're asking me is how can I get proof of what he's doing? You look at your bank statements. That's all the proof that you need.
He kept his bank statement away from me. He would not show them to me until last month.
Okay. Well, that's all the proof that you need.
Because he didn't think that I would forgive him.
Okay. Do not hurt yourself. Promise me that. Promise?
No problem.
Okay. Now, I want to hear from you again. I want you to tell me how you're doing. And we're going to reach back with you, okay?
Okay.
And I want you to be strong. I want you to say a prayer, even if you're not religious.
I am.
Okay. Ask God to help you. He will. Okay. And I'm gonna pray for you too. I am.
Thank you.
And I have very powerful prayers. I will tell you that they are. They are. And so I want you to get in your car, wherever you can get some private space. I want you to call your therapist right now. It's very, very important that you do this. Okay. I don't want your son to cry. Don't make your son cry. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Go do that now.
Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome, Kathy. I'm here for you. Okay. Just a few comments about this call. Maddie, who screened this call, is reaching out to her local non-emergency line for the police department to do a wellness check. And I have to tell you, some of you may be saying, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I have an obligation to each and every one of you to make sure that you're okay, that you're all right. The police are not going to take her away. They are just going to check on her and give her the resources that I just cannot do over the phone. Again, my obligation is to make sure that anybody who calls the show, that they're going to be okay. And that's what I have to do. That's what I have to do, folks. Now, if you need help, I mentioned it once, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That number is 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-TALK. You can also text them, text the word home to 741-741. And you can also call 911, of course. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have more tips, tricks, secrets, and more of your phone calls here on The Kim Komando Show. All right, before we go back to all of your phone calls and want to pass along some tips like this one about AirTags, because there have been some recent changes. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the headlines. You know, stalkers are slipping these tiny trackers into bags or attaching them to cars. This way they know wherever you go, every move you make. And finally, after 3 years, now that this problem got so out of control, Apple and Google have finally teamed up. And when those two tech giants join forces, you know it's serious. They've come up with a way to alert you if some sneaky tracker is just following you around. So if you have an iPhone running at least iOS 17.5, you're going to get an alert saying, item found moving with you, showing the AirTag serial number and the last 4 digits of the person's phone number who registered it. Now, Android folks on version 6.0 or later, you're going to see a tracker traveling with you alert. Just tap more info for the scoop. Okay, back to the phones we go with Wayne in Detroit, Michigan. Hi there, Wayne.
The caller speaking to you about having the banks taking money from them. And I've had 3 of my friends in the last month go through the same spoofing, if you will, and having someone say, run to the bank right away, but don't go to your local bank. Go to another branch. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, or I like this one. Don't go to your bank. Find an ATM that will give you Bitcoin.
Yes.
Right? Okay, if that's not a red flag right there, I'm sorry.
Or gift cards. Send me gift cards.
You know, Wayne, I'll never forget, I had an assistant who worked for me, very short time. And she came in to me, she said, do you want $2,000 worth of Apple gift cards? Would you buy those for me? I'm like, absolutely not. Why? And she's like, well, my husband was trying to buy a truck on Facebook Marketplace, and they said that they wanted the payment in $2,000 worth of Apple gift cards. And so he went and bought $2,000 worth of Apple gift cards. And then he told me what was going on, and I told him he was about to get scammed, but now we have $2,000 worth of Apple gift cards. I'm like,
oh boy.
I'm like, you know what? I'm good, but I'm not that good, you know. Right.
Well, the purpose of my call is I'm looking to learn how to send a text message to be delivered at some time in the future. I know how to do it in Outlook, but I don't know how to do it on my iPhone.
So that this way you can compose it and not wake somebody up in the middle of the night?
Exactly.
That is so courteous of you. That is so nice. Unlike some people in my life, I'm not going to name names, Charles, but lives in a different time zone. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no.
Right. I very often work, into the 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, and I don't want to bother somebody at that time with a ding.
Yeah, it's nice. You're nice about that. All right. And we can always turn on Do Not Disturb. I know, but sometimes people come through anyway. All right. There's the hard way. There's the easy way. Okay. Let me tell you about the hard way first. The hard way is that you have something called the Shortcuts app. It's on your phone. Nobody really uses it, but this thing's really powerful. We've written about it inside of our free newsletters, and I've got some tips about it on how to use the Shortcuts app on the site. So basically, you do an automation, and then you choose like time of day, and then you select the time and the date when you want this, and you compose your message, and then you review the automation, and then you do some other steps. And so now you've got a shortcut on your phone that says, send a text message at another time. Okay. So, and that's the shortcut that you're going to use when you want to send a text message at another time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an easier way. The easier way is called Q, but it's spelled Kyew. Kyew. It's going to save the message, including attachments, and then you just say when you want to send it, and then you send it off. It's got a 4.3 rating inside the Apple App Store, and it's got a ton of positive reviews, and so it sounds pretty good. Now, there's another app that I think used to be good, but it's not good anymore. It's called Scheduled, and Scheduled has been around for a long time, but last time I looked in the App Store, it has a rating of 2.8. So if the recent ratings are any indication, maybe it's not as good as it used to be, but you never know. So try Q, as I mentioned, that's Kyew, or Scheduled, either one of those. Or you can go ahead and do that Shortcuts app. That, again, it's very powerful. If you've never used the Shortcuts app, you can get it to do a lot of things. As I mentioned, we've got all the steps on how to set it up and how to use it over on commando.com. Or you want to use that Q and Scheduled. Wayne, thanks for your call today. All right, back to the phones we go. Jim in Kihei, Hawaii. Hello there, Jim.
So I read a recent one of your newsletters where you talked about dealing with Amazon. I don't remember all the specifics, but you mentioned some of the issues people have with packages, et cetera. But it didn't really cover the two common problems that I have. One is when items never arrive, but Amazon tells you it was delivered. And the second case, which actually we had happen to us recently, is where the wrong item arrives. So we ordered a $10 item, and instead of sending that item, they delivered a calendar, which we didn't order. And
that's so frustrating.
It really is. And of all the buttons you can push, track package, return or replace item, share a gift receipt, write a product review, a lot of these delivered items in my orders thing don't have a get help button. Some of them do, and I think that's fairly recent. But anyway, I'm just wondering if you have like a shortcut to tell them what they tend not to ask you, which is, I didn't get something, or I got the wrong thing.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, there's a magical button, and you have to know where to find it. Okay.
Okay.
Is that basically you go into your orders, and then you can say report an issue. And like you mentioned, sometimes it's always not evident that what your issue is not on that checkbox on that list. And so if you go to customer support on Amazon.com, is that they're going to say, okay, you can chat with one of our representatives. Okay. If you look closer in little tiny letters, it says, we can call you. Yes. Okay. So you give them your phone number, and honest to goodness, if you have and it's always helpful if you have the order number handy. And so the rep calls you, and it's so great because you can actually speak to a human being and you can say, I didn't get what I wanted, or I got this when I wanted this, or it arrived broken. Do you really want me to send back 12 candles that are full of glass? I mean, let's think about this. And so that's where I have found a lot of help is having that ability to have them call you. It's interesting, Jim, because I just recently taught my husband how to do this because he was so frustrated with something that he bought. I'm like, just have them call you. He's like, Amazon's not going to call you, Kim. I'm like, yes, they will. Okay, now you owe me a back rub because that's the way it works. So, so give that a shot. And, you can always give feedback on the issue too on the product page. But I think if you can just know that phone number is there and you can talk to a human being, and that it really does take the frustration out of dealing sometimes with Amazon. And Jim, thank you for your call. And mahalo. All right, you're going on vacation this summer. You have to pass through TSA, of course, to get to your gate. So as you're fumbling around to take off your belt, your shoes, and put all your electronics there on the conveyor belt, you get targeted. The moment that your gear moves onto the conveyor belt heading towards the X-ray machine, though, two people move past you in the screening area. Here is what happens next. The first person goes through security, not a problem. The second person has a belt, things in his pocket that alerts TSA, stops you from passing. So your laptop has gone through the conveyor belt and ends up where? In the hands of the first person who just walks away with it. That's why whenever you're traveling, always keep an eye on your expensive electronics. And in case it does go missing, make sure you turn on Find My Device on just about anything that you can. Hey, do me a solid and tell at least one person about the Kim Komando Show, because knowledge is power. And don't forget to sign up for my free newsletter over at getkim.com.
Thanks for listening to the Kim Komando Show. Here's hour 2.
Okay, let's start with a little reminder. You can't trust Google Maps for everything. You can't. You have to use your common sense. Like, here's an example. When some people enter Utah into Google Maps, it directs them to a remote area called East Mountain. This has become a recurring issue, especially folks who are new to the area. They're finding themselves lost, stuck, running out of gas. And recently, over 40 cars. Oh my gosh, could you imagine? Over 40 cars, including an 18-wheeler packed with Red Bull, gosh, ended up stranded on a muddy mountain road in Utah. Wow. If only Red Bull could have given them wings. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Kim Komando Show. And it's called the Kim Komando Show because, guess what? I'm Kim Komando. I know, funny how that works. And you're about ready to get more tech smarts because every single thing is truly now a tech thing. And it's the biggest show. It's the best show. It's the most trusted show. And you can find me on over 420 top stations from coast to coast. And we're streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando. All right. I like to say it's my labor of love because I really like going to all these different websites and reading what's new in the tech world and saying like, oh my gosh, I got to tell them about this. I got to tell them about that. All right. So here are the top 5 things you need to know that's happening right now. And we're going to start with X. Yes. Twitter, formerly Twitter. And let's just pretend for a moment that you're Elon Musk. You purchased Twitter on a whim for $44 billion. And of course, you rename it X. And now it's worth not so much, $12.5 billion. So you're sitting there, oh, what can I do to make money with X? Oh, let's charge a monthly fee to use it. Did that, didn't work. What about that blue check mark? Did that, didn't work. So yeah, you're Elon Musk. It's losing money. Then you think to yourself, porn. That's what I need to do. Porn. That's right. X has announced that if you post porn, it's not going to be taken down. It's not going to be policed. If you want to go ahead and post porn, you can do it wherever you want. One rule, you can't have a nude pic as your profile pic. Now, X says it's going to block users under 18 from porn. Yeah, sure. And make it an opt-in system for anyone who wants it. Yeah, sure. So let's be real. If you find your kid spending a lot of time on X, now you know it's for the sweeter tweets, I guess you'd say. Number 2 comes to us from the Wall Street Journal. A 75-year-old man left his lifelong partner for what he thought was true love. Yeah, it wasn't. It was a pig butchering scam. It all started with a LinkedIn notification. A young, wealthy Chinese woman, of course, by the name of Elaine, messaged the man saying, she was impressed with his profile. That notification turned into thousands of text messages. They talked about their daily lives, even their love for oatmeal. They dreamed of traveling the world in an RV together, and he fell in love. Then Elaine brought up money. However, would they fund their life together? She had a great idea. Her uncle made a fortune trading gold futures. The man could make a fortune too. All he needed to do was wire her $1,500. And he said to her, hey, you're almost a billionaire and expose nothing while I'm a modest man. It doesn't seem right to me. And then Elaine says, you still don't trust me. You think you're in danger. His love for Elaine was too strong. Over 3 months, Elaine drained his life savings. $715,000. Whoa. When she took everything that she could, she stopped messaging him. Be aware, folks, okay? Hey, number 3 is Apple. Next week, they're going to hold their Worldwide Developers Conference. And what they do is they have the software in June, and then the hardware comes out just in time for holiday gift giving in September and October. So here are the big things that we're expecting. Siri, yes, right now she's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but she's going to be AI infused, so that this way you could tell Siri to find a text message or send an email, something, or look for a picture of me on the beach in Maui or whatever it may be, and then it's just going to pop up automatically. Apple Notes is a pretty powerful tool. If you're not using it, you might want to check it out. It's going to be able to do voice transcriptions. So you can leave your phone on during a video call, and the Notes apps will capture everything and then, of course, transcribe it using AI. Pages, just like Microsoft has with Word and now Google has with their Docs, Apple Pages is going to have AI baked into it. So what you want to do is keep close tabs on the newsletter, because we're going to be covering everything in the newsletter, also on the site. So if you don't already get the newsletter, sign up over at getkim.com. And of course, the website is Commando with a K, of course. Moving to number 4, digital twins. A digital twin. That's what Zoom CEO Eric Yuan wants. And he says, in the future, you don't have to go to a Zoom meeting. You could send your digital twin. And the digital twin will free up your schedule and lead to shorter work weeks, because this digital twin will know your knowledge and background. So while you're sitting on the beach, your digital twin is stuck in the Zoom meeting and only calling you in for the really complicated stuff. So it can answer questions, it can take notes, it can delegate things. It'll do everything that you normally do in a Zoom meeting. Gosh. Do you really think this is a great idea? I mean, on the surface, yeah, that'd be fabulous. We wouldn't have to go to any of these stupid Zoom meetings anymore. But can you imagine all the data it's collecting on you? Yeah. Digital Kim is not making decisions for real Kim. I'll tell you that right now. And finally, this coming in at number 5. Maybe you've heard about it. The patron saint of the internet is coming. Carlo Actuis was a British-born teen who they say may very well become the Catholic Church's first millennial saint. Known as God's influencer and the patron saint of the internet, Carlo preached online before dying at the age of 15 of leukemia. He received his first Holy Communion at the age of 7. He went to Mass every single day until he passed away. He was also a huge computer nerd. He knew his way around Dreamweaver, Java, C++, Linux, and he's most known for documenting all the Eucharistic miracles. So he wanted to transmit his faith to a younger generation. He also loved video games and cars. So he's also been called the first saintly gamer. But the Pope has recognized Carlo for 2 miracles. So now it looks like we're going to have a saint of the internet. That's right. Which, speaking of saints, I know, you knew the bad joke was coming. Are you ready? What church do firefighters go to? What church do the firefighters go to? You ready for it? The Church of the Latter-day Saints. Oh, ouch. All right, coming up, of course, we have all of your fantastic phone calls. We're going to talk about how to measure your heart rate using your phone. We have a great important security tip that you just need to do, and how you can stop sharing your phone number with everyone. And of course, you have me, Kim Commando. Hey, winfromkim.com. It's the last chance, really, the absolute last chance for you to enter to win a brand new iPhone, okay? You need to do it right now while you're thinking about it. It's a $799 iPhone 15. Could be yours absolutely free. But you need to go to winfromkim.com, winfromkim.com. The catch, you got to get at least a few issues of my free newsletter that you're going to love anyway. Out of a 5-star rating, it's got 4.92 stars. Yeah, it's that good. So again, enter to win over at winfromkim.com. All right, how about we start with Bill in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hi there, Bill.
Yeah, what I was calling about, I've spent years working in cable television as well as community relations with the power company. So I'm computer literate and also video literate.
Wow.
But I was diagnosed about 8 months ago with Parkinson's, and that, along with other health issues, has caused me not to be out in the public very much. So I'd like to share what's going on with me with other people and do a podcast, and maybe once a week or every couple of weeks do a post of what has changed, what's happening with me. I'm constantly surprised when I meet people or see people in the grocery store and they find out that I have it, that other people have it, that didn't know they had it. So I'm just trying to figure out where to start with a video podcast and the best ways to do it. I've experimented a little bit with my iPhone and the iMovie on my iPhone for editing. So I didn't know where to start, and then how to put it up on the web. Whether I use YouTube or I know TikTok is limited with the amount of time you can use. So what do you recommend I should do to start?
Well, you know what? Number one, this is great because you're going to help a lot of people, right?
I hope so.
You will, and make a difference and bring some clarity where maybe there isn't clarity, and also give people some inspiration. So if they know somebody or if they're diagnosed with Parkinson's, then they can say, hey, you know what? I can do this too. I can be strong like Bill, right?
Right.
And with your video experience, you have the skills. And with your iPhone and iMovie, you actually have the tools in order to make that magic happen. Okay. So because you're a videographer, I'm not going to walk through make sure you have good lighting, make sure you have your phone on a tripod. You can get a remote for your iPhone that can start and stop the recording so you don't have to move.
Right.
You have all that good stuff and framing it up. iMovie is pretty darn good. I've used it myself. If you don't like iMovie, if you're looking for something that maybe has some more capabilities. I'm not sure what that might be, but there's a program called KDen Live. That's the letter K and then DEN and then live.org. It's completely free video editing software. Now, once you get the videos together, keep in mind that people have a very short attention span.
Right.
It's anything more than a couple of minutes sometimes could be a stretch. But if you're going to be, talking about your journey and how you're doing this, the challenges, the successes that you've seen along the way, and maybe put family members in. I mean, this is all up to you to figure that side out, which I'm sure you'll do. Is the place that I would put this on. You mentioned TikTok. I would start a TikTok account. You can put up shorts and reels on Instagram as well. But the videos should have a home on YouTube.
Right.
And so you're going to start your own YouTube channel, and you can make videos private. So unless somebody knows the actual URL, it's not searchable by YouTube. So that this way it becomes, private if that's what you want. But you give it a title, description, and relevant tags. But I would definitely, encourage you to reach out as many places that you can. And I know there's somebody listening right now, just to let you know, Bill, and they're going to say, oh, Kim, you just told him to go on TikTok. And TikTok's owned by communist China. Okay. Okay. I know it's owned by communist China, but it also has the greatest reach. And the government's trying to get a handle on it. The thing about TikTok is why everybody's all Freaky Friday about it, and rightfully so, is that it gets a copy of everything on your phone. So if you're not comfortable with that, just get an old phone and use that as your TikTok phone. Okay, it's not that big of a deal. So does that help you out?
It helps a whole lot, really. And I wasn't sure exactly. I've kind of played around with a couple of the episodes, and I haven't posted them yet. And I thought what I would do is put them out on email to all of my email accounts and also all of my Facebook accounts, and ask them to look at it, and if they saw fit, to share it with their friends. And so I didn't know how to spread the word that I'm out there. And then secondly, how do I go about knowing if people are looking at it, with the like buttons or whatever?
You'll know for sure. You'll know for sure. On all the platforms, you'll see the likes and the comments. On YouTube, with a creator account, you can go actually behind the scenes, and you can see how many people watched it and when they dropped off.
Okay.
And you can see how many people watched it to the end. And you need a certain number of followers before you can participate in any type of income stream.
Right.
But, but there are certain phrases that you want to use, like, comment, share, and follow.
Sure.
And so, and ask people to like it, to comment on it, to share it, to follow your YouTube channel. There are ways that you can create one clicks. So on Facebook, if somebody just clicks the description, is that they have automatically subscribed to your YouTube channel And so if you look at some of the clicks in our newsletters, you'll start seeing how that magic happens.
Right.
Now, I would be remiss if I didn't talk to you about clinical trials. Have you looked at any of those?
You mean Parkinson's trials?
Yeah, like at clinicaltrials.gov or the Parkinson's Foundation. There's also CenterWatch.
I get a ton of that stuff because Big Brother's always watching and listening to what we talk about. So I get lots and lots of them. And so I'm keeping track of all of those. I'm also participating in a program called Rock Steady Boxing, which is developed just for Parkinson's patients.
Excellent.
And so I'll be interviewing those coaches and that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm very much aware of all the different trials that are going on.
That's awesome.
Like I said, every time I ask a question, then it throws out another bunch of stuff that somebody wants to sell me.
Yeah, well, I know that's unfortunate. You know, but you know, it's always good to. I'm glad that you're keeping tabs on all that, because even like the Michael J. Fox Foundation, they have a clinical trial matching tool over on their website as well. So. Because you know what? You just don't know, especially with AI. Oh my gosh, there are so many advancements that are happening because of AI and health. I was just thinking about it this morning. I know I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning thinking about, like, you know what? I need to do a USA Today column about how AI is changing the way that we treat medical ailments and diseases. I'm going to be doing that soon. I am. Bill, you need any help afterwards, I'm here for you always. All right. Did you know that your heart beats around 100,000 times a day? That's 35 million times a year. You need to take care of it. And here's the secret. You don't need an expensive smartwatch to measure that heart rate, just your phone. So head to your favorite app store, whether you're on Apple or Google Play, and look at the instant heart rate or the heart rate monitor. Both are available on Apple and Android. See, here's how the apps work. They use your phone's camera and flash to track the blood flow. And you want to find a well-lit spot, open the app, and then gently place your index finger over the camera lens and the flashlight. Once again, that's instant heart rate or heart rate monitor. Stay right where you are. We have more tips and phone calls coming up that you don't want to miss. All right, coming up, we have a really important security tip that you're just going to say, like, wow, that's amazing, Kim Komando. And then later on, a quick tip on how to stop sharing your phone number with anyone who wants it. And before we get to that and all of your phone calls, have you ever found yourself in a tight spot and wish you had like this discreet button that you could just press for help? Emojis. You have to start thinking about it this way. Imagine these scenarios. Your teen is at a party. They need a secret way to let you know that they want to be picked up. No questions asked. Or maybe you're in a situation and you want to tell somebody in your family, hey, you need to get me some help without attracting attention. You can't call them. So with a preset emoji code, you can send a quick come get me now text, and we'll turn your phone to an SOS beacon. So sit down tonight, make up your codes, keep them a secret, and share this with your family. So what could the code be? Maybe a cloud is for I need help. A car, pick me up, please. Maybe it's a cat, meaning I'm having a panic attack. So whatever the case, you can now have a private way of letting anyone you know that you do need a hand. All right, let's see. Karen in Casper, Wyoming. Hi there, Karen.
Oh, it's a windy day in Wyoming, like normal.
It's 115 in Phoenix, like normal.
I winter down there, so I'm very glad to be up here.
Oh, so you're a winter person. Okay.
I am a winter Arizonian.
All right. So you're just too much of a wimp to be here.
Well, kind of.
Oh, okay. Well, I will tell you what you do miss, not being here in the summer, is that wherever you want a restaurant reservation, you can go right in. Okay. You don't have people with Minnesota plates driving in the fast lane with their left turn blinker on the whole way.
With the blinker on. Okay. Minnesota. You got it.
And wherever you want to park, you can park. Okay.
How about that? Well, you know what? If you live in Wyoming, you have that all the time because there's not very many of them.
There you go. Wyoming's gorgeous. I love Jackson Hole area up there.
It is. Yep.
So what's going on?
Okay, so I have been told that Apple is not the best phone to have when you're doing banking transactions like Venmo or checking your balance, getting into your bank account. That Apple has the least secure of all the phones. Just wondering if that's true.
Did this same person talk to you about chemtrails?
It was an IT guy from our bank who just said that Apple is the least secure.
Okay. I don't know who he is, but he's wrong.
Okay.
And I wouldn't take any financial advice from him either. Okay. I mean, iOS, the security is very much locked down. It actually has something called sandboxing. Okay. Sandboxing, when you're working in your banking app, says, okay, nobody else is allowed to come in. No other apps. Nothing's there. They update the iOS, seems like every other day.
Yeah.
You can't get it. You pretty much can't get an app in the Apple App Store that hasn't been vetted by Apple. Okay. You can get anything in the Google Play Store.
Right.
They have a dedicated, what they call secure enclave processor that does all the encryption and the data storage. You have facial ID. You have touch ID.
Mm-hmm.
So he
not true then.
Yeah, it's not true. It's not true.
That's really good to know.
And again, I just, probably a very nice guy. Okay.
But not correct here.
No, he's not correct. And as I mentioned, I wouldn't, definitely would never take any banking information or, I wouldn't, I would just kind of like say, oh, thank you so much,
and move on.
And appreciate you. You're great. But no, don't worry about your iPhone. I mean, tell me, does he want to use a Huawei phone made in China?
There you go. I don't know.
That would be a good one. That would be a really good one for him. That would be safe. Yeah. An iPhone, the least secure phone out there. He's hanging out at too many Reddit forums, probably. Karen, thanks for your call. All right. Today's world, your computer does everything, right? Even all of your finances. You use it to pay the bills, do your banking, buy stuff. That's why you need to know about something called dynamic lock. This is really amazing. When you leave your computer unprotected, you're just asking for trouble. Thieves could steal it, gain access to your online banking, your passwords, a lot more. That's why you should use dynamic lock. It's baked into Windows 10 and 11. Here's what it does. It pairs your PC with your phone using Bluetooth. So this way, Windows uses the Bluetooth signal to check how close your phone is. Makes sense. If you walk away with your computer with your phone, the computer automatically locks. That's why it's called dynamic lock. Yes. So to turn it on, go into settings, find dynamic lock under devices. Then you're saying like, oh, Kim, but I don't have a Windows machine. I have a Mac. Stop your whining. Okay. There's nothing like this baked into a Mac, but you can use the app called NearLock to do the same thing. That's NearLock to do the same thing. All right, coming up, we have more of your phone calls as well as a really great way to stop sharing your phone number with everyone, because who wants to do that? That's not the smartest thing. So I'm going to help you out here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, I need two things from each and every one of you. Number one, the best way for us to grow the show is for you to tell a friend. It's that simple, okay? And how about the second thing? The second thing is that, hey, I want to know more of what you want to know more about. So if you go to commando.com, there's a link that says Ask Kim. I read every single note that you send me. I say it all the time. Then there's always some pranksters like, oh, well, if you read this, Kim Commando, hit reply. No, I'm not going to fall for that. Far too busy, okay? Commando.com, hit that link that says Ask Kim. All right, how about Joyce in Tucson, Arizona? Hello there, Joyce.
My situation is I do live in a community.
Mm-hmm.
And we have probably over 100 clubs, but about 80 of them have been using a program called GroupWorks to communicate with their members.
So wait a minute. So you have 80? Wait, you have 80 clubs?
Oh yeah, pickleball, travel clubs, computer clubs, painting, all kinds of clubs. Oh yeah, if you're bored in Quail Creek, you're not doing much.
And how many people are down there?
I don't know exactly, but I'm going to say there's probably at least 5,000 people that live in Quail Creek.
That's awesome.
And they're building more. He just got some more land. He's building more homes, so people are moving in every day.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah. So anyway, my question was in reference to this GroupWorks is going away. They, after 6+ years, they decided just to shut up, and they gave us a 30-day notice.
Okay.
This program was free, and they're not even offering anything like a continuation. They're just shutting down. So I'm looking for something to replace it.
Okay.
My club is a travel club, and we don't charge dues. So I was hoping to find something free, I'll call it, or inexpensive. There are many clubs that do collect dues, and so I know they could afford a little bit better program. And I just don't know. We've been looking, and there's so many out there, but then a lot of them want to charge per person. And if you have 400 members, which I do, it gets expensive per month.
Yeah, but
what do you suggest?
Well, you can try the free route, of course. But, anytime something's free, you are giving something up in return, right? Okay.
I guess, yeah, that's what I had heard about GroupWorks, but I was comfortable with the program.
Yeah. So, of course, there's Google Groups, and that is one place where you could do. You create mailing lists, and you can share documents and organize events, and, probably, I don't know what the percentage is of people who already have a Google or Gmail account in your group, but odds are it's probably pretty high.
I would think so.
You could also do the same thing on Facebook if you wanted to, but a lot of people are like,
I want to stay away from
exactly.
Facebook.
A lot of people are like, that's what I was just going to say, Joyce. I'm like, but I'm not sure a lot of people would want to actually do this on Facebook. There's also groups.io. That you might want to check out. See, I want you to check them out because you know exactly how everybody's going to be wanting to interact with it. You know what I mean? I can't just say, like, this is the perfect one for you because not really sure how much communication, how many files that you want to store. Do you want to have a calendar? Do you want to take polls? Do you want to collect RSVPs? Yes. Do you want to collect dues? Do you want to be able to send everybody just an email? Just a blast about something that's going on. You might want to think about just, even if it's just a dues of like $10 a year at some point. I mean, it's not a lot of money, right? And I know
it wasn't the amount of money because everybody can afford it. It was more the bookkeeping. I started this club on my own, and when you get into dues, then you have to have a treasurer and keep the books and keep all that. And I said, first of all, I didn't have anybody to do it for me. I'm not good at that, even though I'm good at math. I just didn't want to do that. So free. Of course, that's why it grew up to within 3 years 400 members.
That's true. Yeah. Well, you're in the demographic where everybody likes to travel too. So I think what I would do is I would look at Google Groups and I'd look at Groups.io. Okay.
Okay.
And then there's a couple of other apps like SportMember.com and the Flare app. So those are basically four that I would recommend for you, but again, it depends upon how you're going to use it. So look at the individual features of Google Groups, Groups.io, the FlareApp.com, and SportMember.com. Now, the Flare app and SportMember and Groups.io, they have free basic plans, and then they have a paid plan. So you're going to have to look at the features of what you're going to get with the free plan versus the basic plan. With Google Groups, it's pretty much free as you go. But again, you're giving up your privacy, and you probably have some people who are like, ooh, I don't want to be part of Google. I don't want them knowing where I'm going, and they're going to be tracking me, and then they're going to add this to my profile and all that other good stuff that people always say about Google. Because you know what, Google, they do a lot of tracking. They collect a lot of data. That's how they make their money. Then they sell the data to advertisers, marketing companies, who knows who else that they're doing that for, right? So I put you on hold, Joyce. We're going to go ahead and give you links to the four that I mentioned. That's Google Groups, Groups.io, the Flare app, and SportMember.com. And thanks for your call. If you need any help afterwards, I'm here for you. Oh, this is so exciting. Mike in Tokyo, Japan. Hi there, Mike.
Hi, Kim. How are you today?
I'm great. How come when I was in Tokyo, we didn't have lunch?
We should have definitely had lunch. Let me know when you're coming back.
I love Tokyo. Now, how did you end up there?
I originally came over as a homestay. I really liked Japan and decided to come back.
Oh, it's just a beautiful country. And, it's a civilized country, isn't it?
It's very clean. The people are very nice. The food's really good. It's a great place to live.
It is. It's phenomenal. So what's on your mind today?
Yeah, thank you. I listen. I used to listen to you on AFM, but now I get your podcast. The Daily Tech updates are excellent, and the Kim Commando Today podcasts are very good. I often hear about your website and how to look at different things, but I've had a kind of a difficult time navigating it. I'm wondering if I'm missing something. Like I was looking for a credit lock, credit freeze, and I wasn't really able to find it. So I was wondering if you could give me some tips about your website.
Well, thanks for your call today, Mike, and thanks for that question. Because I will tell you, it's not you. The website search, it just sucks. It does. I wish it was better. We are working on it. We're set to release a brand new website in about 2 to 3 weeks. That the search will be fixed. So if you are trying to find something about freezing your credit, that you can actually type in freeze your credit and that it's magically going to pop up for you. But what you can do is what I do when I want to find stuff on my own site is that I just fire up a browser and I use that super duper search phrase where you do site : and then the name of the site. So it'd be site:commando.com. And then you can just put into quotes whatever that you're looking for. And so instead of you relying on a particular website search tool like ours that's not so good, is that you're actually going to use Google's search tool in order to find it at that particular website. So again, it's site : then commando.com, and then whatever that you're searching for. If you put it in quotes, it's going to refine that search. But until we can get that fixed, but this is a great tip anyway, because it works on just about any website.
Really appreciate it. That's what I'll do.
You got it.
Very good.
Hey, Mike, thanks for your call today. And sayonara. Yes, right?
Thanks so much, Kim. Sayonara. Have a great day.
Thanks. Hey, let me tell you, if you have not put Japan on your bucket list, you really need to do it. It is an amazing country. I spent about 10 days there in March, just a few months ago. And there's a whole video up on our YouTube channel where I walk you through, like, don't fly into Tokyo International Airport, go into Haneda, how to get the Japan Rail Pass. Why aren't people like eating on the street? Why don't people smoke on the street, even though smoking is really big? Why does the taxi cab driver wear a 3-piece suit? And what is the deal with everybody bowing in front of her? And even the deers bow to you. Yes, the deers. So in case you've ever thought about going to Japan, you're like, I don't know where to start. Or maybe you never even thought about going to Japan. And now you're like, maybe I do want to go to Japan. It's an amazing country. You will come back a changed person. And you'll look at the United States going like, we need to send every mayor in the United States to Tokyo. We do. We just need to send them there for like a week. Anyway, go to youtube.com/Kim Commando. That's youtube.com/Kim Commando, which, by the way, you also can, if you got some free time, you can watch our videos from our podcast that we do there. That's Kim Commando Today. So again, youtube.com/Kim Commando. Okay, there's a clever way to get a second phone number to use for dating, shopping, selling stuff online, social media. And no, you don't need to carry another phone. You just use an app on your existing phone for the second line. Then when the second line rings, it comes through the app, so you always know which line the caller is using. So you can use this trick for a short time, like to contact someone if they're selling something, or that you're trying to sell something yourself, or maybe you're trying to buy something. The best way to do this is using Google Voice. It's free and it works for both domestic, international phone calls, text, voicemails, and it's really fabulous. Just you put that Google Voice app on your phone, and when that number rings, it says Google Voice, and you're like, okay, no, exactly. Transcribes voicemails, and it's free. Yes, Google Voice. Hey, listen, thanks for joining me, and thanks for being here. And just a quick reminder, if you have not already, make sure that you sign up for my free newsletter. You're going to love it over at getkim.com.
Thank you for listening to the Kim Commando Show. Here's hour 3.
Okay, let's all go to Tokyo. Because in Tokyo, the birth rate is the lowest it's ever been. It's dropped 5% from last year. So the government says, hey, listen, we need more people to have babies. So what can we do about this? And then they say, oh, we have an idea. Let's come up with a government-backed dating app. That's right. Now, there are a few requirements. You have to submit your income. You have to be single. And you have to sign a letter that says you really, truly want to be married. It's kind of like Tinder from the government. Hey, you're about ready to get more tech smarts because every single thing is now a tech thing. I'm Kim Komando, of course, your beloved digital goddess, here with you once again. And you can find me on over 420 top stations from coast to coast. And I'm streaming in your favorite radio app. And of course, we're also broadcast on the American Forces Network Radio. So a special hello to our listeners in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force, listening in 175 different countries. All right, you can count on me to make sure that you're up to date on anything and everything that's happening in the tech world, because every single day I go to at least 35, 40 different websites. And here are the top 5 things that you need to know about tech that's happening right now. And I will tell you, the first story is heartbreaking. And I normally don't like to start with something that is such a downer, but I'm begging you to talk to your kids. Really, you need to do this. Tammy and Tim Woods lost their 17-year-old son, James, to suicide because of sextortion. They say that James was like any other teenage boy. He loved people, sports. He was an athlete. He played video games. He was a pretty good person. But that didn't matter to the scammers. In November of this past year, 2023, a scammer posing as a teenage girl on Instagram got James to send a naked video. And then came this extortion. The scammer sent over 200 messages to James saying that James would have to pay $300 or the video would be released. Okay. One message that I read, I'm just going to read it to you. This is what the scammer said to the 17-year-old boy. I am more determined to rot your life than to make it a waste, a trash can, a shame, a dishonor, a hell, a real disaster, a hell on earth. And also I remind you that I am heartless. I have no pity to rot a life as well as yours. Okay. Obviously, not perfect English. Okay. The kid got over 200 messages like this. Within 20 hours, James took his own life. You really need to talk to your kids about this, okay? If somebody wants them to send a naked pic video, they don't do it. And if they do it, that they can come to you, no shame, no judgment, and you will take care of it. Please. Do it. Just do it. I know it's an uncomfortable talk, but you just need to do it. Moving on to number 2, I want you to look around your front yard, look through the bushes, check the gravel, check the driveway, because people are discovering hidden cameras. Last week in California, Gary DePirio stumbled upon a camera concealed in his bushes. It was cleverly camouflaged, hooked up to 2 battery packs. It just blended in perfectly. In Chino Hills, someone found a camera disguised as a rock hidden under a pile of leaves across the street from a woman's home. And in another family discovered a hidden camera in their yard. It was tucked beneath some bushes and branches, and it had a wireless transmitter. Looked like anything other part of the landscape. So why are these hidden cameras? The Chilean gangs, the South American gangs, they're putting these hidden cameras in front yards, backyards, side yards, you name it, so that this way they can scope out the neighborhoods and figure out schedules. So, make sure that you just check your yard for any type of hidden cameras. Moving on to number 3. Oh my gosh, Asana. Do you ever take a break at work? Maybe buy a little something on Amazon, check social media, look at what's happening on a reel on Insta, whatever it may be. Well, all this may go away because of the project management platform Asana. They're coming out with something called AI Teammates. Yes, I want a teammate. It's a micromanaging boss that lives right in your browser. It assigns you work based on your skills, your project history. It'll tell you you're not moving fast enough. Because who doesn't want their web browser to tell them, oh gosh, you know what? You spent way too much time playing Wordle today. According to Asana, it knows how to work you best based on your work relations. It'll line you up with other team members to help you get your job done. Talk about HR-rific problems, right? Yeah. Let's move to number 4. Paris Hilton and big brands like CNN are getting targeted on TikTok. All anyone behind these accounts to do is open their compromised DM. They don't have to click a link, load a document, just open a DM. That's it. The hack actually took down CNN's TikTok for days. Now, the strange part is that the infected accounts hasn't posted anything fishy yet. This is a 0-day attack. TikTok says, we think that we fixed it. So the bottom line here is that if you get any DMs from strangers, don't open them. And finally, this coming in at number 5, move over Prada. This is really bizarre. I love Trader Joe's, but not this much. People are going crazy over Trader Joe's new insulated mini totes. Yes, I said a mini tote. They come in green and pink, 1.5 gallon bags, mostly used as a lunchbox. They cost $3.99. Again, I said limited edition. They're sold out in California already. Sorry, folks. They're being resold 20 times the price on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. One person has this $3.99 tote bag listed on eBay for $500. Wow, $500. So just do yourself a favor and just buy yourself an insulated tote bag on Amazon if you do need a lunchbox. That's it. Okay, just do that. Not worth the $500. I don't see that happening. All right, how about a joke for the kids? What do you call a fist fight at noon? What do you call a fist fight at noon? Anyone? A lunchbox. Okay. I can do better with jokes. I promise. Okay. All right. Coming up, we have some organization tips for all of you who have plugs and cables everywhere. Yes, I'm talking to you. And what about printers? What exactly do they save when you use them? And why your home needs something that you probably never even thought about. And of course, we have your phone calls, and you have me, Kim Commando. Hey, it's your absolute last chance to enter to win a brand new iPhone 15. Last chance. $799 phone could be yours, but you have to enter to win right now at winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. What's the catch? Yes, you have to get a few issues of my free newsletter that you're going to love. Out of a 5-star rating, 4.92 stars. Yes, everybody loves them. Now, if you already get the newsletter, yes, you can still enter to win, but you have to go to this address, winfromkim.com, winfromkim.com. All right, how about we start with James in Plano, Texas. Hi there, James.
So I have a situation. I work deep nights during the week, and Monday night through Friday night, and of course on the weekends I go back to a day schedule because I try to pretend I have a little bit of a social life, So I was wondering, I'm trying. It's tough to juggle going back and forth every week as far as sleep and things like that, and it really needs to be kind of objectified. I've tried getting graph paper and colored pencils and drawing lines with time going to the right. I was just wondering if there's any kind of app that you know of that could help me manage this that would be a little bit less tedious than paper and pencil.
So what do you want to manage? The time that you're working, the time that you're sleeping?
The time I'm working is consistent and fixed. So the time I'm sleeping, really the time I'm sleeping, because like I say, it just kind of all gets lost in a fog after a while when you're not being objective about it, if that makes any sense. When, it just kind of...
That's hard on your body.
Well, you know what? I don't disagree, but it's kind of something I have to do right now.
Sure, I get that.
Yeah.
Well, you can use Apple's built-in calendar. So you put in your work shifts, and then you can actually set reminders. So this is, and you can set a reminder that, this is when I need to sleep, or I need to at least go try to rest.
Yeah.
And then put your phone into sleep mode so that this way you don't get all those annoying notifications, and because that will disrupt your sleep, obviously. But, a lot of people don't realize that when you put your phone in sleep mode, if there's somebody who you want to be able to actually get through, that you can definitely do that. Just have to permission that person or that app.
Yeah.
And, and an app might also help you too. Have you ever tried any type of meditational apps to get you to sleep?
Meditation? No, I don't generally really have a problem.
Oh, you don't?
Sleeping,
okay.
Unless it's sleeping too much.
Oh, okay.
And occasionally being late to work. So that's not really the issue. The issue is I need to do all these things like most people, 5 different things or things in a week. And I have to say, it would be nice to look at something and say, okay, during this time slot, I can't do that because I'm sleeping.
Okay. Well, you know what? Then I would look at using Apple's built-in calendar. Because this way you can, and you already have it on your phone, so you might as well try that. And that's where you can, like I said, you can set reminders. You can look at a schedule. It'll tell you if you're trying to schedule something during another time. it'll say, well, you know what? You got a conflict right here. I don't think you're going to be able to drop off that UPS at that time because you're supposed to be sleeping. Now, if that doesn't work, there is an app called Shift Work Schedule. Again, that's called Shift Work Schedule. It's tailor-made for people who work different shifts, like you do.
Okay.
And so you might want to, if you're having trouble with Apple's built-in calendar, then you might want to look at it. It's called Shift Work Schedule. But what I like about, because you already have an iPhone and you already have this built in, is that it also gives you the ability to actually say, I don't want to say the S word, the wake word, but set an appointment for me to do this. Make a note to tell me to do this. When I'm near the Safeway, remind me that I need to drop off my return for Amazon at the UPS. So, a lot of people don't realize that it's a pretty powerful app once you start using it. So try it. If that doesn't work, Shift Work Schedule is my second choice. James, thanks for your call. Joni in Reno, Nevada, you're up next.
Well, I'm interested in buying an external hard drive rather than replacing my computer. So what external hard drive would you recommend?
What do you mean instead of replacing your computer? What is that?
Well, the computer that I have is pretty much full. The hard drive's full. And, of course, I keep getting warnings saying that if you fill it completely up, you won't be able to access your email. Right. And I don't want to buy more. I'd rather not buy more from Microsoft at $1.99, which will become $2.99, which will become $3.99 a month.
It happens, doesn't it? And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, now it's $10.99 a month.
Yes.
And then, if I want to access it, then it's going to be another $1.99 a month. And if I look sideways, there's another $3.99. I know, it's like, oh, I know. It's just... It's like they get you, right?
Yes.
Well, Western Digital, they have a hard drive called My Passport. It's probably the easiest, most robust, classic hard drive. It comes in 1, 2, 4, 5 terabytes. What's nice about it is that you can put password protection on, does automatic backups, and works on USB port. You can take it with you. And as far as price, it depends on capacity, but you're looking anywhere between, say, $50 and $130. But keep in mind that if the hard drive's full, you might want to start looking at what type of video files you have on there. Windows has a pretty decent cleanup utility. And because video files, anytime I get a hard drive file, I look at it, I'm like, what's going on, mate? And then I get in there, and typically it's videos that I have 2 or 3 copies of, and photos that I've got 80 copies of, and whatever it may be. So there are some programs that you might want to run first to search for duplicate files. And then with the duplicate files that you can safely remove those, get rid of any applications that you have. There's a program called CCleaner. It's the letter C and then cleaner. And CCleaner, it's been around for a really long time. That's why I feel comfortable recommending it. And it will go through and start helping you get rid of the stuff that may be consuming the laptop's hard drive. And you may find that you don't necessarily need to have an external hard drive if you can start figuring out what the heck is taking all this space and getting rid of the junk that you've accumulated by using this laptop for a number of years. But again, if you're looking for an external hard drive, I'd look at the Western Digital My Passport. Seagate has a pretty good one. It's actually pretty slim. So if you're looking for a slim design, that's where you're going to look at a Seagate. And then Lasay has a pretty rugged design. It's like rain resistant, shock resistant, all that other stuff. So if you're like that person that drops things and needs to go into the back bush with a hard drive, that's the one that I would recommend for that. But again, take a look at CCleaner first. If you need links to any of these, we have them over on the website. Joni, thanks for your call. All right, I want you to look around your desk. Look behind the TV. Okay, it is a complete mess. I know it is. Okay, so it's time to clean it all up. Okay, so what can you do? get some stickers. These can be labels that you write on or simply color-coded dots. You're going to write on the labels or use the color to represent a type of cord. Like, for example, a red dot for a USB-C, a blue dot for an HDMI cable, whatever it is that you want. And then what you want to do is make sure that when you unplug everything and you want to clean up all the dust bunnies, see, you know where everything goes when you put it back. I know. Genius, isn't it? Okay. This should untangle some of life's mysteries or just that big, ugly bunch of dust bunny cords that you have behind the TV. Listen, we all have them. I don't. I used to, but not anymore. All right. When you print something, does the printer actually have a memory so it can save a copy of it? I bet you that answer will surprise you, and we have more of your great phone calls you don't want to miss here on The Kim Komando Show. All right, let me tell you what's coming up. You don't want to miss. We're talking about printers, okay? Do they actually save stuff when you print it? That answer is going to surprise you. And why your home needs something in particular that I bet you're never thought of. And you're like, wow, that Kim Komando is really smart. Once I tell you what it is. That's my little teaser to make sure that you hang on. All right, before we get to all of that in your phone calls, let's talk about Sidewalk. You know what Sidewalk is? Sidewalk is Amazon's neighborhood network. Doesn't that sound nice? A neighborhood? I want to have a neighborhood network too. Oh, please. What it means is that you and your neighbors share a little of each other's internet bandwidth. So your Amazon Echo speakers, your Ring cameras, and the lights, they're all turned into network extending devices. Now, you're already sharing your internet bandwidth unless you say no. And by sharing your Amazon devices, you create this bigger network. So those smart landscape lights at the edge of the yard will totally stay connected. Now, Amazon says it's completely encrypted, that neighbors can't access neighbors' data. But what would happen if somebody actually hacked it? And Amazon also says you're not giving up a ton of bandwidth, just a little itsy bitsy tiny version of that bandwidth. So privacy implications, they could be big if it's on a breach network. The bad news is that you're automatically opted in. Now, if this bothers you, open the Amazon Alexa app, go to the Amazon Sidewalk settings and turn it off. Again, it's all in the Amazon Alexa app. Just turn it off. All right, let's see. Josh in Knoxville, Tennessee. Hi there, Josh.
I live in a house that was actually built in 1913.
Wow.
Solid built places. I have to drill a pilot hole before I can put a nail in the wall. I mean, I've got solid oak walls behind the drywall. That's how thick my house is. Has no insulation, but the walls are extremely hard for, because of the materials it's built out of. And I've got an RBR Orbeez mesh router system, and apparently they've quit selling you can't go to Walmart anymore and buy a satellite. They don't make them anymore because they've apparently changed to the tri-band, and this one's a dual band. So I'm trying to find something that I can use that will either work with that or get you to recommend a newer system that so I can get it to be a little better in the house, but I also want to expand it out across my backyard just a little bit so I can cover the pool area and that kind of stuff.
Awesome. So so the house was built in 13?
Yeah, 1913.
Wow, that's awesome. How many square feet?
It's about 2,000. It's a two-story. It's about 1,000 foot on ground floor and 1,000 foot upstairs, too.
Did you ever look up the history of the house?
My wife knows the entire history of the house. One of her cousin's grandparents built it.
Oh, wow. That is so...
My wife has literally lived on the same farm her entire life. She moved from the home she grew up in to the house that we live in and has never lived anywhere else. She's lived two places her entire life.
Boy, isn't that amazing? That is really something. Well, it's such a beautiful part of the country, that's for sure. Knoxville's, the rolling hills and the mountains, just phenomenal. All right, so you're right. It's time for you to upgrade your system because the dual band is now tri-band. And you do want to do mesh, especially with those walls, because this way you can get a more reliable connection from within the house. And then also we're going to extend that house. So even though you say the house is 2,000 square feet, we're going to be looking at a tri-band system that is more than that. Maybe something like 5,000 feet or 6,000 feet, because we want it to be able to be strong enough to get through those walls. And also, if you want to be, playing Candy Crush out by the pool, I know that's really important, is that we're going to be wanting to do that as well. Or maybe with your Kindle, because it's really hard to look at the phone screen sometime, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, it's more so, the kids want to be able to listen to the Amazon Music and that kind of stuff outside. So,
which is awesome. And maybe even, we're doing a video right now about how to build yourself your own outdoor projector. So if you ever want a summer project for the kids.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, you know what? It's really not that hard. You can use your phone and a magnifying glass and a box. And we're going to be putting that video up on our YouTube channel pretty soon. We're going to be doing that. All right. So when we start talking about tri-band for everybody, is that we're looking at the router, the extenders. It's going to be Wi-Fi 6 compatible. We want to make sure that, of course, that it does everything in as far as with the square footage that you need. You mentioned kids, and so we want to make sure that it also has some parental controls. And if you want to, you can put all your Internet of Things on a guest network. I don't know if you've ever thought about that, but the whole idea is that your cameras and your smart speakers is that instead of having them on your main network, is that you're going to put all your stuff, your smart stuff, on its own network. And what that is basically, just in case your the smart dishwasher, the speaker, whatever, that were to get hacked, is that it's not going to be able to be not be able to get into your main network where you're going to have all of your good stuff. Okay. So when we start talking about all this, generally we're in about the same price range of about $300, unless we start looking at something like an Eero mesh system that is maybe 6,000 feet. But I think what I'm going to point you in direction is something called from TP-Link. Is that it's a tri-band whole home mesh Wi-Fi system. It has a 3-pack. Okay, so you're going to get everything that you need in one box. Covers up to 7,200 square feet, and it's about $300. And so, Josh, I'm going to put you on hold so that this way, lovely and talented and beautiful Amber, who's screening our calls today, will go ahead and give you a direct link. Now, if you're looking for something a little bit more than this TP-Link, I mentioned briefly the Eero Pro system. That's something that I've used in my house, and I continue to use it. It works really well, again, but it's about twice the price sometimes when you look at it. But not quite twice. It's about $600 for 6,000 square feet versus this TP-Link is $300 for 7,200 feet. So if you want to look at the Eero mesh system, like I said, I've used it. I think it's a little bit more easier to set up. I like the controls that come in the app. But again, it's going to be a little bit more than that. So maybe you might want to check out the Eero Pro as well as the TP-Link, the Deco. And once again, thank you for your call. For in case you're just listening, like, what did she just say? Well, we're going to be mentioning those and putting these links inside our newsletter. So if you're not already getting our free newsletter, make sure that you sign up right now over at getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. You're going to join over 500,000 folks. Yeah, they love it. You're tech smart in just 5 minutes a day over at getkim.com. All right, let's talk about your printer. Do you print out a lot of sensitive stuff, tax stuff, legal documents, job offers? Now, what is between you and your printer? Unfortunately, not so reassuring. Popular printing products and services don't necessarily promise to keep what you print confidential. In fact, they don't even guarantee that they're not going to share your data with outside marketing firms. Take Canon. Their privacy policy says that they can collect all sorts of stuff from you. Files, images, descriptions, metadata. They don't come clean whether they share the content of the documents that you print. Now, let's say if you go to FedEx, its policy mentions collecting user uploaded information. Print at Staples, you better know this, they can keep and store personal data, including copy and print materials. I know. The tracking never stops. It just never stops. All right, still to come, we have more of your phone calls as well as a special little thing that your home needs that you probably never thought of before here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, Kim in Detroit, Michigan. Hi there, Kim.
Kim, yes. Hello, Kim.
What a great name.
Nice to talk to you. Yes, I do like yours.
Thank you. Now, are you a Kimberly or are you a Kim?
I am a Kimberly.
I am too. Now, I'm a Kimberly Ann. What are you?
So am I.
Are you?
Kimberly Ann.
Okay.
Definitely.
So, did your siblings ever say Kimberly Ann is fat in the can?
No, they never did. But I'm the oldest, so maybe that's why I got away with that.
All right, I was the baby, so I would always get Kimberly Ann is fat in the can. Like,
No, they did not do that to me. So
I'll have to tell my sisters and my brother that they were just too mean. That's just it.
Right, yeah. The problems of being the youngest child.
Of course. What's going on?
Well, my daughter-in-law called me to see if I would help her create a fillable PDF to embed on her website. And I just thought, I want to know the easiest and the free way to do this. So I thought of talking to you.
So now, what does she want? What does she want people to put into this form, and how many fields is it going to have?
Well, that is a good question. I am not sure about that. I know they have like a locker, so for meat processing, and they have a creamery, and they have a small store, like a grocery store.
How fun! What a great business that is.
Yes, it is.
Sounds like a lot of work too.
It does. It keeps them very busy, yes. And they also milk cows, and they have 5 little kids. So
wow.
I thought I would try to help her out on this.
You're awesome. Okay. See, when we start putting fillable forms out on the web, is that we want to make sure that what information is going to be in the form is going to be secure. And I mean, if she's going to be taking credit cards, well, that's like a whole nother solution. If she's going to be taking just name, contact information, that still requires another type of solution, that it's not just a fillable PDF form. As much as we just put fields onto a web page, people fill out the fields on the web page, and then you ask them to then you have a CAPTCHA at the bottom to make sure that it's not a bot. If you go to commando.com and you hit the button that says Ask Kim, that's where you'll see that's a fillable form. And so people fill out that form, and then I get the results of that form via email.
All right.
Because when
you could print it off.
I could email it. I could do, or whatever I want to do. I could forward it. I could suck those fields into a database if that's what I wanted to. Suck being the technical term right there, by the way. When we start talking about a fillable PDF form, sometimes it gets to be a little bit more complicated because it is now a PDF. Okay. And it also depends on her website. So, like, for example, our website is done on WordPress, and WordPress is the back end, and they have plugins. So basically, you just put this plugin onto your website on the page, and it's like bingo bango, you're done. It's a template, and then you add and then you add a CAPTCHA, and then it integrates with Google's reCAPTCHA. Okay, and then you embed this onto the website, and that's basically all it is. So that's one side of it. Okay. The other side is that if you truly wanted a fillable PDF form on a website, is that you can use Adobe Acrobat Reader for this. Okay. And you can add text fields, check boxes, radio buttons, whatever you want to be. And so that's where, so it's, if you're not going to use WordPress, then that's where you use Adobe Acrobat Reader. And then they fill it out, and then after they fill it out, it's going to be uploaded, right? To maybe a Dropbox, a Google Drive, and you have to put all these codes in when you put that PDF form on the website, that it's going to, what is the next action that you need it to do, type of thing. Once people hit submit, where does that go? Now,
I think they want to print it in this case. So.
So, but it still has to go from after they fill it out on the website. Where does it go? So then it will still have to go to a Google Drive, a Dropbox, or someplace like that. So, what I'm going to have Amber send you are the steps on how to do all this. Okay.
Perfect.
So you can just take a look at everything, and then if you need any help afterwards, just give me a call back. We've got, not just me, but we've got like web IT geniuses here, okay, that can lend a hand to you to kind of get all this done. Because sometimes it's, it's really great to talk about on the radio, but sometimes when we are sitting there going like, oh, okay, well, wait, what is that step? And what's that embed code again? And how do I create a direct link to that file? It's really hard to go step by step. So that's why I'm just trying to give you that overview. And Amber's screening today, and she'll be sending you all my notes via email so that this way, if you need any help afterwards, Kim, you've got it. You can refer to the notes, and thank you for your call. Hey, if you haven't checked out youtube.com/KimCommando, you're missing out. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Andrew and Allie and me, we do something called Kim Commando Today that, of course, you can get the audio version of the podcast, and it's wildly popular in that format. But, we rolled out the video version of the podcast, too. And you can watch it live, of course, if you want. That's Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, which is 2:30 p.m. on the East Coast. Or you can always watch it on demand, which is really kind of fun. So you can set up your own playlist, and you can watch certain episodes. You can skip forward. You can see all the wonderful, great interviews that we do. Again, that's youtube.com/KimCommando. And speaking of playlists, it's summertime. I love yacht rock, and I love listening to yacht rock on my yacht. What's the difference between a yacht and a boat, by the way? A yacht has an ice maker. I just learned that recently. I'm like, really? Is that why they call it a yacht? So anyway, I put together a playlist just for you guys and gals. It's yacht rock with a little bit of an edge because I like eclectic music aside from yacht rock. So go to youtube.com/KimCommando if you're looking for some tunes, and you can check out our yacht rock playlist. Say that 8 times. Okay, here's what your home needs. I'm going to cut to the chase. Okay, your home needs its very own email address. You're like, why does my home need an email address? It just makes sense. An email address for your home lets you track everything from property taxes and major projects all in one place. You can even use the home's email address for its own Pinterest account if you're trying to remodel. You just create a brand new address, and the simplest place to do it is in Gmail, and then use the plus sign trick to get an instant free address. Just add the plus sign in the word home before the @ sign for your current Gmail address, and all these messages will come just straight to you. Just make an email filter, puts the home's email into one separate mailbox folder, and then you round up all the emails already in your inbox and forward them to the new address. And now you have your home's contacts all in one mailbox along with all the other correspondence. And any new email is going to go straight to that box too. This is also a great tip for all those streaming services that you guys and gals are signing up for. Yes, just use one specific address. And don't forget to sign up for my free newsletter over at getkim.com.
Thanks for listening to The Kim Commando Show. Here's Hour 4.
I always like to kick things off with something fun and interesting. And have you heard about magnet fishing? I don't know where I've been, but I guess it's a big thing on the internet. A lot of folks are just going magnet fishing, then posting their results up on social as well as YouTube. What you do is you get these high-powered magnets, and then you toss them into bodies of water, and then you just reel them back in to see what you can find. Well, James Kane and Barbie Estina, a couple from Queens, New York, they decided to go magnet fishing. And imagine their surprise. What? The magnet latched onto something super heavy. They hauled it up, and it was a massive safe. Oh, my God. The two managed to crack it open. They found themselves staring at $100,000. Yes, $100,000. It was all wet and soggy, but still went magnet fishing. They pulled up a safe with $100,000 on the inside. Whoa. Let me tell you something. Speaking of magnets, I dated a magnet once. He was very, very attractive. Oh, yes, that was a bad one. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kim Commando, America's beloved digital goddess, here with you once again. And you're about ready to get more tech smarts because every single thing now is a tech thing, right? Oh, my gosh. Now, you can find my award-winning show on over 420 top stations across the United States. And, of course, for streaming in your favorite radio app, just search for my last name, Commando. Every single day, I go to at least 35 different websites to make sure that we're both up to date on what's going on in the tech world. And here are the top 5 things you need to know that's happening right now. And we're going to start with Donald Trump. We're not going to talk about the candidate. We're not going to talk about his politics. Instead, I want to talk to you about Donald Trump deep fakes, how to spot them and how not to be taken by them. And when I say taken, I mean cheated out of your money by contributing to Trump or anyone else. Because let me tell you, the world is just awash in a tidal wave of Trump deep fakes. share it on social media to wallop you emotionally. That's what they want. Emotionally, they want you to be angry. They want you to be sad. They want you to be happy. They want you to be scared. You name it. All in the hope that you're going to hit that big old share button. You're going to give money or both. So here's the deal. Before you contribute to any campaign, I want you to be really 100% certain that you're contributing to the real thing. Never donate using a link that you get in an email. The only place that I want you to donate is at the official website of the candidate of your choosing. And yes, there are deep fakes of Biden flowing out there too, but it just seems to like to have more Trump deep fakes right now. Moving on to number 2, let me tell you, if you buy a Tesla truck, you better really, really love it. And here's why. Because if you ever buy one, I want you to study the sales contract carefully, because buried deep in the legalese is wording that if you buy the truck, you're stuck with it for at least a year. You cannot trade it in, you cannot sell it, and if you do this anyway, you're agreeing to pay Tesla $50,000 in damages. Tesla, it seems, is worried that unhappy customers are going to sell the trucks with low mileage and then, yes, hurt the truck's sales. So, if you're buying one, be sure that you really, really want it. Wait, you better love it, because you and that truck are together, whether you like it or not, for at least a year. Moving on to number 3. Okay, even though summer is not yet officially here, many parts of the nation are under excessive heat warnings. Here in Phoenix, where I live, oh my gosh, we're bracing for 113 degrees. Which brings me to parents, kids, and cars. You see, every year we lose about 37 young children to car heat-related deaths. And some of these parents are now trying to place the blame for their neglect on the car's manufacturer. Yes, you heard me right. Forgetting that a baby is in the backseat of a hot car is negligence, pure and simple. The danger is so obvious that it should be criminal. Summer temperatures inside locked cars can easily reach 150 degrees. So car makers are working hard to provide tech and alarm systems to let you know when you've left someone behind. Still, if you leave your baby in a hot car, tech or not, alarm or not, it's not the car manufacturer's fault. The only one to blame is you. So pay attention. Moving on to number 4, let's talk about our credit cards. We've become so used to paying for things by simply tapping our phones or credit cards to some device at the checkout. But credit card fraud is rampant. So are you ready for the next step in identification? You better smile. That's right. You see, biometric payment schemes have been tried and rejected. No one wants to provide a fingerprint at checkout. So with MasterCard, JP Morgan Chase, and other credit card companies on board, the next level in fighting fraud is your face. They say it's the ultimate form of biometric identification short of a blood test. So the banks believe that facial recognition is not invasive. I mean, after all, we carry our faces around with us, out in the open, everywhere we go. We're being recorded everywhere. So raising a privacy issue about this is going to be really, really hard. So the ones most open to facial recognition, well, it's who you might expect, the Gen Zers. Millennials will come along next, then the Gen Xers, and then the boomers will be slower. But of course, with inflation as rampant as it is, facial ID or not at the checkout, it still feels like giving blood. Whoa, I know. Finally, this coming in at number 5. Do you want to sell a car online? I want you to be super careful. Facebook Marketplace is just crawling with scammers, and they're getting fabulous at just fooling you. This story from Emmanuel Russo in Beaufort, Georgia, about an hour outside Atlanta. Now, he thought he had a great deal lined up for his Ford Mustang Mach-E. The buyer seemed legit, and they agreed to meet in a parking lot, public place. The buyer handed Russo a check for $26,900. Russo said, the check looks real, it feels real, everything looks real about it. He sold the car, and then the buyers just drove off, right? Well, the next day, he took the check to the bank. Well, you can probably guess because I'm talking about this. And they told him the paper's real, everything is real, but it's not a real account. Now, I've seen a picture of the check, and let me tell you, it looks real. It even has that hologram sticker. But you have to remember, scammers can easily get these fake checks on the dark web. Luckily, a few days later, police were able to track down Russo's car, and they were able to make an arrest. So here's the thing. Fake checks are getting super easy to buy and make. There are marketplaces where people can buy absolutely legit ones. So if you're going to sell your car online, make sure that the person who buys it goes to the bank where you can cash the check together. If they don't want to do that, okay, steer clear. Oh, and speaking of fakes, in every koi pond of 4 or more, I don't know if you know, there's always at least one fake one. You've got kois A, B, and C, and then you have the decoy. Oh, that was so painful. It hurt. But it was funny, right? All right, we have a viral trick to know who's behind an unknown number. This is really clever stuff. Oh, there's a new thread at the gas pump I need to tell you about. And if you're going to be traveling this summer, I got to tell you the new shtick that the airlines are pulling to even get more of your data. And of course, we have your great phone calls, and you have me, Kim Komando. Okay, it is the absolute last chance for you to enter or win a brand new iPhone valued at $799. That's right. I want to give it to you. I want you to win it. You have to go to this place, winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. It's the last weekend for you to enter to win the iPhone, so you better do it now while you're thinking about it. Head over to winfromkim.com. You might be saying like, okay, what's the catch, Kim Komando? The catch is that you have to get at least one issue of my free newsletter, and you're going to love it. You can unsubscribe if you want. Again, that address is winfromkim.com. All right, aside from my show here, I host a wildly popular podcast called Kim Komando Today. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts. But in it, I get to talk to some really interesting people like Brian Johnson. Now, he's just not any tech mogul. After cashing in big time to the tune of $400 million, wow, he's now taking on a whole new venture. He doesn't want to grow old. Even though he's in his 40s, some parts of his body work more like an 18-year-old. And he's really deep into data tracking, everything from the nitty-gritty of his heart rate variability to specifics of his sleep quality, including like minutia of what goes on at nighttime. Here, take a listen.
So let's start at the beginning, Brian. What made you embark upon this, as you say, a rejuvenation athlete, taking your life in this direction?
It was a result of some thought experiments I did. And I like thought experiments because they help me, they show a mirror of what the most common thoughts are of one's time and place and allows you to travel in time. Okay, so here's the first thought experiment. Imagine that you're able to whisper in the ears of people who live in the year 1870. And you say to them, hey, just a heads up, there are these new ideas about these microscopic objects that are the source of infection. They're called germs. And if doctors wash their hands between surgeries, if they clean their instruments, if they wash their hands again before between delivering babies, that may reduce the death rate dramatically in this situation. Now, if you're in the 1870s, if your common response is going to be, that's nuts. You're telling me some invisible thing is causing death. And we can't see it. So it's just like this, is this like some sort of, otherworldly thing? And so this is an example where the future is always present and it smashes itself up against the rocks of our current thinking. And that's what Blueprint is. Blueprint is from the future and it smashes up against the current norms. And so the kinds of things you guys were observing ahead of time is exactly the predicted response.
Well, it's an interesting analogy because I thoroughly believe that, think about, I still can't believe that people would say that when you smoked a cigarette, it would coat your throat, right?
8 out of 10 doctors agree. Go with filtered cigarettes.
Yes. And then of course we all know what happened after that. So take us through your typical day, Brian.
Yeah. So to complete this thought experiment and what you said, and then I'll go through my day. So to complete that exercise, if we imagine that the 25th century is whispering in our ears and they say, psst, what would they tell us? And this is the entirety of my project. I think they would say, don't die. That after 4.5 billion years on this planet, we are now baby steps away from superintelligence. Now, when we have superintelligence in a decade or so, it's going to be a billion times smarter than us, a level of intelligence that is unimaginable to us. It's possible that with the superintelligence, we will be able to solve aging and we may be able to live for a duration of time and with the level of wellness that is, again, unimaginable to us. And so the observation is in the year 2024, the future is present. The question is, can we see it? And so in conjunction with Blueprint, I say, don't die individually, don't kill each other, don't kill the planet, and align AI with don't die. It is the only thing on humanity's to-do list.
Wow.
I don't know if we're going to be able to check that box. But like Kim said, What are you doing on a daily basis so you don't die?
I do about 100 things in a given day. and I try to make them invisible to me because I try to make it just part of my norms. And so the unique thing we did is we looked at every single scientific publication ever done on health span, lifespan. We then graded the evidence of each of those things. And then we did the power laws. And we said, where is the best evidence for the best health span, lifespan extension? And then we implemented every single one of those things. Well, not everyone. We implemented the power laws in me. And then I became the most biologically measured person in human history. And so my daily regimen is basically the most scientifically accurate approach on how to go about longevity and health span. And so, for example, I go to bed about 8:30 every night. Well, that's not true. I go to bed at exactly 8:30 every night, and it's very precise. And sleep is my number one life priority. I demonstrated 8 months of perfect sleep using a wearable. It was the first time, I think, in human history where someone demonstrated that level of sleep consistency. And I wanted to show that it could be done. And then I wake up around 4:35, 5:30. I wake up naturally. And then I'll do a 10,000 lux light in my eyes to get a few minutes of light. I'll weigh myself on my scale to get body composition data. I'll take my inner ear temperature. I measure that very closely. My body temp in the morning is around 94.9, 95.1. So I'm about 3 degrees Fahrenheit lower than what I was before doing Blueprint. And then I'll go downstairs. I'll do some HRV therapy, which is like your nervous system therapy. I do this little thing on my ear that has electrical current. And then I'll work out for an hour, and then I'll eat a few pounds of vegetables for breakfast. I'll do a few more therapies. I'll work for a couple hours. I have a few doctor's appointments, and in the afternoon where I'll do various measurements. And then I have a nighttime protocol. And so basically I have like 2 or 3 full-time jobs. I'm building various companies and I'm doing this. So it's a lot of work. And I have an entire team helping me do this. But the thing is, I guess it's important to say is you don't need to spend $2 million and you don't need to do my lifestyle. I can give you 5 simple rules that are low cost that you can do to get the majority of the benefits. But you definitely do not need to be Brian Johnson to achieve these benefits. You can do them in a low cost fashion.
So what are those 5 things?
There's 5 power laws. 1 is don't smoke. Number 2 is 6 hours a week of exercise. But even if you can't do 6 hours, even 1 hour, if you're at 0, is great. 3 is eat a Blueprint-like diet, or you can say a Mediterranean-like diet. 4 is maintain a body mass index of between 18.5 and 22.5. And then number 5 is moderate alcohol consumption or 0. Those 5 things will get you to a life expectancy of around 92 years old. And then, of course, it also is helpful if you can try to avoid bad things. So try to avoid, junk food. Try to avoid other things that would otherwise cause damage to your body. But the basics really are within reach of everyone. And then, as I mentioned before, making sleep your number one life priority. Like literally nothing's more important than sleep because everything else is a consequence of your sleep.
Well, this is a serious question. It may seem childish, but it's serious. In researching for this interview, multiple times in multiple different sources, it talked about that you want to make sure that you don't age your penis and your rectum. And it focused on that. Is that something that you put out there? Is that something that's important for all of us? Why would all these articles focus on those 2 parts?
Yeah, I mean, old rectums get cancer.
Okay. So that's why you're focusing on the rectum.
Yeah. And the penis is, sexual health is a bit of a taboo topic. And I am trying to raise awareness that our sexual health is really important to our psychology. It's representative of our sleep habits. It's representative of our diet. It basically, if you're not performing well sexually, you have other problems in other places of your life. And so it's a conversation that is needed. It's helpful. I mean, I've had so many of my friends approach me in private and say, I'm in a bad spot and I'm not quite sure how to crawl back out. But when you don't have sexual function, either desire or function, it's pretty devastating psychologically. And so I've really tried to just say, look, I'm playing around, I'm having fun. I'm more than willing to bring up topics that are controversial, that are awkward, but they're really important to all of us. There's like few people who don't want a, productive, healthy sexual life.
Hey, by the way, if you want to watch the interview, you can head over to my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Kim Komando. And you can hear our entire chat on Kim Komando today, wherever you get your podcasts. Just make sure that you just search for Komando with a K, of course. All right. I always like to pass along some great tips to save you money. And, we get the same message every year. Hello, it's your internet provider. We have to raise the price of your service yet again. You're like, oh my gosh. So how can you get that internet bill down? Okay, first of all, just know it's super tempting to sign up for the highest priced, fastest internet plan, but you probably don't need it. So what I want you to do is make your best guess at how many hours you stream video, you play games, you browse the web, and a whole bunch more. Then I want you to call your internet provider. You may be able to drop a price tier depending upon how many devices and how much data that you're using. So when you're on the phone, I want you to ask if you signed up for any promos when you initially got your service. Those are the ones that, they last forever, but you got a great deal when you signed up. And then play hardball. Here's the deal. I want you to make sure that you ask for somebody called a retention specialist. It's their job to make sure that you don't cancel your internet service, and they will bend over backwards to keep you because it's always cheaper to keep a current customer than go get a new customer. Hey, we got more of your phone calls coming up here on the show. We're going to be talking about how airlines are getting really data hungry. You're not going to believe what they're tracking about you as you're going to be traveling this summer. And also a new threat at the gas pump you need to be aware of, because I don't want you to get taken by that. But have you ever received a text message from a number that you don't recognize? Instead of saying like, oh my gosh, I don't know who this person is. I wonder why they're calling me. I'll look them up in Google to see if there's a way that I can figure out who it is. Well, this is an insider secret. If you get a text from an unknown number, mobile payment apps like Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, or PayPal, they can help you put a name to that number. You just paste the number into the app, and then the mystery caller's name just might be unveiled. Now, I tested this out on a number who I knew someone had a Venmo. Well, their name just popped right up. Now, this hack only works if you have an account with a mobile payment app and the sender has to use their real name and number inside the app. Well, what about the flip side? If you don't want to be found out this way, make your account private and in the app settings under Friends and Social, toggle off phone contacts. Yeah, it's that easy to find somebody's name and number by using Venmo. It's just nutso. All right, Christina in Denver, Colorado. Hi there, Christina.
So I had a question. I get all of your emails, and they're amazing.
Well, thank you.
But you do them so many times a week, and you do your radio station, plus you're married, plus you got kids, plus I'm sure you have just different hobbies and things like that you do. I don't know how you find time, one, to do all of that every single week with all of the tips and the tricks and
it's a lot.
The jokes.
Yeah,
yes,
the jokes.
It's a lot.
Yes, it's a lot.
I love them.
Yes. I'm glad you like my jokes, because I get people who are like, oh, Kim Commando, cut the jokes. I'm like, no, life is too serious. And,
oh, my gosh.
You know,
I shared the one from today. So the one from today about where the tag on the shirt said, remove the child.
Yes. That was, you know what? I saw that. I'm like, I mean, do we really need? Okay, so it was a tag on obviously a 3 to 4 year old shirt. Okay, and underneath in the warnings it said, "Remove child before washing." Okay,
right.
Okay, so you know what that means, Christina? Okay,
somebody tried to do it.
Somebody tried to wash the kid with the shirt on. Otherwise, we wouldn't have that warning on there. But it's I really love what I do. I mean, I really do. I'm so specialized, and I have a great team. I really do. As far as here at the studios, I mean, each and every one of our team members, they pull more than their weight. They do. And I know that.
Right.
Okay. And I know this because like last night before I was going to bed, I was like, oh, and I'm one of these things like, I got to get it out of my head, or else I'm like, hey, we need to do this tomorrow. We need to do this tomorrow. We need, or get this done or whatever. I try not to, I tell people, you don't have to answer me over the weekend, but if I don't get it done or if I don't tell you right then,
I don't send it.
Yes, I'm going to forget. And of course we can always schedule emails, which is what I try to do if I'm on email. But I'm finding like Google Chat is just really the easiest thing to do, because you don't have to say like, Christina. Hi, Christina. How are you? Just wondering. You just get into chat and say, Christina, can you take care of this for us? And I think that would be great. But it is definitely a time management because I also get in 20 miles a week. Okay, as far as running and walking, because if you don't have your health, what do you have, right?
Right.
And so I try to get out in the morning, which I did this morning. So I was late to a Zoom call at 8:30, but I thought to myself, I woke up like, you know what? I need to get my steps in. I need to get my mileage in. I need to do it. And if I'm going to be late for that client, well, I'm sorry, but that's just the way that it has to be.
No, I'm the same. I do anywhere from like 14 to 17,000 steps a day.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And it has
you have to.
Yeah. Otherwise you just sit on your butt. So we don't want to do that. But then I have a wonderful gal here, Maddie, who helps me pick the content for the news, for the shows and the podcasts, and then Allie helps with the newsletters, and John and Jeremy, they're also involved, and Mark is editing, and Amber's putting it together, and it really is a team effort because then we have Charles and Mackenzie, and then Tracy selling, and Kip selling, and Amber Barnett just keeps the whole thing together. You know what I mean? It's like, but
there's so many aspects that you guys do. Like in one email, right? It has things that I might like that you've already tried on Amazon for me to buy, or you have a joke, and then you have a trivia, and then you have knowledge about like, hey, don't be caught on spam. I mean, there's so many aspects in every email that it's just like, how does she do it?
Well, but that's because, as I say, every single thing is a tech thing, right? I mean, everything that we touch right now. Okay. And then when I'm done with my day, I do make a conscious effort to give dedicated time to my family. And so, and if somebody's texting at the dinner table, I'm like, you better put that down right now, because that is just not happening in my world. And then I'm also in charge of the family. I mean, the family. Because when my mother passed away, she said, you're the matriarch. I'm like, no, I'm not. She's like, yes, you are. Okay. I'm like, so now I've got additional responsibilities. But I'll tell you, I wouldn't have it any other way. Because like people are like saying to me, why are you still doing this? You can go retire. You can go live in Maui if you want. But I don't want to. I want to be.
Know that we don't want you to either.
Well, thank you.
It's great.
Well, I want to be Martha Stewart in a bikini on the cover of Vogue magazine when I'm 84 years old. Okay. I just don't want to be Martha Stewart in jail. Okay, that's it.
Right?
Okay. But
don't go
But
there.
I want to do that. But I appreciate your call today because it's nice to get an acknowledgement of everything that we put together. But I will tell you, it's not just me. If it was just me, we couldn't be doing all this. But it's truly being able to identify the right people for the job. And we do have openings now. So if there's anybody listening right now and you're like, hey, I want to be in Phoenix. I love Phoenix. Or you don't know anything about Phoenix. Is that where we are hiring? We need some folks to help with the newsletters. We need people to work in the video department, audio departments, and marketing and sales. And so if you have a specific talent and you'd love to work with just a fabulous group of people, a wonderful group of people, then I think that this would be the place. I'm going to ask Wayne to chime in. Wayne is one of our tech directors. Wayne, no pressure. Do you like working here?
I love it.
Best place ever?
This is probably the best job I've ever had.
Okay, see? So that's what I'm saying. Not just me. And Wayne just did not tell me that because he's an employee. I know Wayne. Wayne would not do that. Never wouldn't let anybody. So if you're looking for a job, head over to commando.com/careers. Christina, again, thank you for your call. All right. The most invasive thing that can happen the next time you're on a plane is not the person in front of you reclining. It's data gathering. You may not realize that airlines are collecting and tracking your data. Your booking details, your name, your email, your phone number, and passport are a given, as is the weight of your bag and maybe even how much you weigh, depending on the airline. Now, if you use the onboard Wi-Fi, the sites you visit, what you search for, the apps you use, and more is being monitored. Other things airlines are collecting on you, what you drink or eat, and when your beverage is empty. Our flight history, complaints to see if you're a good passenger or not, what movies you like to watch for in-flight entertainment. So why are they so focused on flyer data? It's all about the cold, hard cash. Yes, it's just another way that this company, any company, will repackage your data and then sell it off to advertisers, marketers, or who knows else. All right, still to come, we have more of your phone calls as well as a new threat at the gas pump I need to give you a warning about here on the Kim Komando Show. All righty, then back to the phones we go with Scott in Wilmington, North Carolina. Hi there, Scott.
Well, a couple weeks ago, you did a segment on cars and privacy and data collection, and I was curious, what year did that really start in earnest? In other words, I tend toward older model cars just for the reason I value my privacy. So I was wondering, at what point am I going to have to start really doing research to find vehicles that don't really do this, or can the computers be disabled?
So what bothers you the most about the data tracking that happens in your car?
Well, just, where I drive, how much I drive, how fast I'm going, how fast I'm not going. It just, in general, I'm kind of a privacy nut.
Yeah, it's so hard to have privacy today, isn't it?
Yes.
It is 100%. What's interesting about your call is, I don't know if you read in one of the newsletters, I actually put it in there because I thought it was so super interesting, is that a Dodge Ram truck from 2008, is one of the hottest sellers right now. And they're still making it the 2008 model. This is not a model that's from 2024. This is the 2008 model, the Dodge Ram truck, specifically because a lot of people don't like this tracking. And it's $34,000. And people are like, I want this truck, even though it's from 2008. I want that truck. I don't know if you remember the OnStar commercials in the early 2000s. Remember those?
Yeah.
That was kind of the start of a lot of the tech coming into the cars, because it had the location data, driving habits, vehicle diagnostics, and stuff like that. And then when we start hitting 2010, then it really, really ramps up. And then we get into truly connected cars as we have now that are basically just floating computers on wheels. So if there was a car that you were looking for, I'd probably look at something in the 2000s. But
right now I drive a 2005 car, and my wife has a 2002 car. So I think we're relatively safe.
You're relatively safe. But, there's a website called privacyforcars.com. Again, that's privacy for cars. And that's privacy, the number 4, by the way, cars.com. And what's really neat about this website is that you can type in your year, make, and model, and then it tells you what tracking is being done with that car. Whether it's, driver assistance programs, Wi-Fi, driving patterns, multimedia usage, whatever it may be. And again, that website is privacyforcars.com. As a matter of fact, I wrote a whole piece for the Daily Mail about this, because I write for USA Today, Fox News, and New York Post, and all these other places, and the Daily Mail. But if you hang on the line, Scott, Amber's going to give you a link to the column that I wrote. It's down there where it says privacyforcars.com, Amber. And it's a column that I wrote all about how your cars are truly connected computers. And here's what the data is that's being collected. And then I talk about this Privacy for Cars website, that basically the way that they make money is that they do a factory reset on used cars, so that if you buy a used car, you don't get everybody else's data. And in doing this, they put up this kind of like a little tool where you can, again, put in your make, model, and year of your car, and then you can see exactly what it's tracking about you. So, Scott, thank you for your call, and hang on so we can send you out that link. And let's see who's up next. Kathy in Greensboro, North Carolina, welcome.
Yes, I have some relatives and friends that are using these cash-making apps where they scan in their receipts from stores, gas pumps, where have you, and is supposedly making them money. I know you don't get something for nothing. So I'd like to know what the downside is of this.
Well, the biggest downside is the data collection, right? Because they're collecting what you buy, where you go, how much you spend, your behaviors. Then they're sharing your habits with who knows who. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then they're going to be feeding you ads about who knows who and what knows what. They may be have access to your phone number, to your email address, because this is the way that they can contact you. You can certainly read the privacy policies, but nobody ever does that, right?
No.
And so it's really a matter of personal preference. I mean, are you okay with giving out all your personal information that's going to be sold, or are you not, for whatever it may be? Maybe it's 10 cents off a gallon of gas, right? Or maybe it's a couple of dollars back because you spent $20 at Target or whatever it may be. And also take a look at permissions and access that some of these apps have. Of course, now if you're going to be scanning a receipt, guess what? It needs access to your camera. It's going to need access to your location, because that's going to be tied to where you are when you purchase something. So what you can do is, maybe try to avoid oversharing. Look at the app reviews to see if other people are getting spammed, or they're getting a lot of, weirdo text messages because they suddenly signed up for this. Keep in mind that this is never going to replace a job. This is never going to replace something like an employment. This is maybe a couple of $100 a month, and maybe some gift cards along the way, or maybe you're going to be saving money, like I mentioned, on gas, or maybe you get $10 back at the grocery store. So if you're okay with giving up all your information for that, then that's the way that it is. But if you're not, then just avoid using them. And thank you for your call. Hey, by the way, if you're ever too shy to just give me a call here on our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line at 1-888-825-5254, you can always drop me your questions on the website. Just head over to commando.com and hit that link that says Ask Kim. All right, coming right back. Yeah, a big warning that you need to know about before you go fill up with gas here on the Kim Komando Show. When you hit the gas pump, you've got that routine down pat, right? You give the card reader a little wiggle, you check the keypad, and you make sure that those tamper-evident seals are not broken. So just when you thought you had it all figured out, yes, credit card skimmers. Those are the scammers. They place atop card readers. They capture the data from the card's magnetic strip. Well, now there's something different. Shimmers. These are way harder to detect. They slide right into the card slot. They target the chip on your card. They steal the data from your chip, your card number, and the PIN. And then the fraudsters clone your card, and they just go on this massive shopping spree. So how do you fight back? Well, when you're sliding your credit card into the reader, I want you to pay close attention to how it feels. If there's an odd resistance, or if your card seems to get stuck, big red flag. Take a good look at the card reader too. The best bet is to pay for gas using just a tap of your phone's Apple Pay or Google Wallet. Hey, do me a solid and tell 3 friends about the Kim Komando Show, because everyone needs more tech smarts, and knowledge is power.